All right, guys, today's finally that day. We got the PlayStation 5 here in the house finally, and I'm so excited to dive into this console with you guys. Between the graphics power of this thing, between the DualSense controller that everyone's talking about, has some really cool haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, the Pulse 3D audio that I do have the Pulse headphones sitting over there that we're going to be trying out as well to see how much that really makes a difference. And of course, the UI that's brand new to the PS5 compared to the PS4. All stuff that we're going to be taking a look at. We'll take a look at some 4K footage today on some of the games I'll be playing so you guys can get an idea on how these games look on the day one of launch. And I'm just really excited for this console, so let's go ahead and get the video started.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie.
Alright guys, it's that time. We have the PlayStation 5 now in-house. And we got the unboxing here. I also have the Pulse headset that we're going to be unboxing really quickly. And this thing is I haven't opened it obviously yet. This thing's a big boy right here. So let's just go ahead and dive right into this unboxing because I can't wait to see this thing in person because the box is already humongous. I can't even fit it on frame here. So let's go ahead and take this out. All right, so we got the white box now that this is off here. And if you guys didn't see it before on the back of this here, just to show you guys, for those of you guys who haven't seen the box for some reason, play like never before. Lightning speed, breathtaking immersion, and stunning games. That's what the box says there. So let's go ahead and put this to the side. Let's go ahead and open this up here. See what we got. Okay, it has like actual instruction manual sitting right here because it doesn't want me to just open it up like that. So it actually wants me to pull it from its side. God knows if I'm holding it backwards or not though. I think I am. Or actually maybe I'm not. Let's just go ahead and see. Nope, I'm good. Perfect. Alright, so right here at the front, we got the PlayStation 5 controller. We'll put that to the side for now. We got the power cord, PlayStation 5 manual. We got the PlayStation 5 stand. We got the HDMI cable here. And really important, guys, to make sure that you guys are using the HDMI cable that comes with these consoles because they're rated for 2.1. So you're definitely going to want to use that because not all cables are made equal. Now that we got all that out of the way, those are all the accessories that are in the box. Now, of course, comes the system itself here. It's a little awkward trying to pull this out in the position I'm in. Here we go. These things that they're in are really heavy. All right. First time looking at a PS5. And here it is. Damn, this really does look huge compared to any other system I have. It does not even all fit on frame when I put it on the table here, as you guys are looking at. But here is the PlayStation 5, guys, right here in front of me, finally, after all this waiting. This is obviously, of course, the disc version, as you guys can tell here, that we're using the disc version. It's got the two USB ports, or it's got one USB port on the front, USB-C, power button, eject button right there. And then if we slide it over to the back, then we got the power cord, the HDMI, the LAN, and then two more USB ports on the back as well. So that's good. And yeah, like I said, this thing's, if I put it on the top here, it almost takes up the whole entire frame of the camera here. So you can see how big this thing really is. This thing is definitely big, though I don't mind the design. I think this is going to look fine on my entertainment system. Sure, it looks like an alien mothership is landing, but that's perfectly fine. It's going to stand out. It's going to be unique. And all that matters is what's inside. So I can't wait to dive into some games on here. So with that being said, let's put this to the side for 1 second. Here, of course, we have the DualShock controller. Or sorry, the DualSense controller. So I'm definitely excited to get into this. This is one of the most exciting things that I'm looking forward to because of all the features of the DualSense, of course. Of it having the triggers that are going to be on here. That have the haptic feedback, and then of course the actual haptic feedback of the controller with the adaptive triggers. So I'm really excited to play the Astro game that comes included on the PS5 already installed with this controller. It's definitely going to be the first thing I'm playing, so I can't wait for that. And then, of course, we said we have the manuals here, so that's that. And then we have the stand that we need to put this thing on when I go set it up over there. So that's the PlayStation stand there that you need to use, whether it's vertical or horizontal. If it's horizontal, you need to use a screw that's actually sitting in the PlayStation there and put this on, or horizontal. Either way, you need to put it on the stand here. And then, of course, the power cord and the HDMI cable, like I said. And then, like I said, I also have the Pulse 3D from PlayStation as well. So let's go ahead and pop this open for a second and see what we have going on here. I'm excited for this. It has it says dual hidden microphones, built-in rechargeable battery that lasts 12 hours, and easy controls, a wireless adapter to plug it into your PS5 and PlayStation 4 controllers, and also has a 3.5mm jack that you can use with your PSVR if you want to as well. I actually just got the adapter for my PSVR in today to use with my PlayStation 5 if I want to, even though there's not many reasons to right now, but hopefully games get updated to support higher refresh rates and higher graphic fidelity. So manual, we'll take a look at what's in there in a second. Here are the Pulse headphones. These look really nice. They got a gigantic foam piece here, as you can see, like how big those foams are right there for your ears. So yeah, this feels nice. Feels nice and comfortable. It has the elastic band on the top that kind of just adjusts to your head as you put it on. So it kind of just goes just like that. They feel nice on my head. I can't wait to try these out because I'm a big fan of, you know, surround sound and stuff. But I'm actually going to be playing my PlayStation with these headphones because of all this talk about 3D audio in some of these games. And I'm hearing that the 3D audio sounds fantastic in Spider-Man Miles Morales and in Astral's Playroom. So I'm going to be playing, you know, with the full stop of all their features with the 3D audio on here and the DualSense, of course, and all that. So really, really excited. So that is the unboxing portion of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and set this all up, download some games on it, of course. We have to download a bunch of games. We're going to be trying a bunch of different things here to give you guys an idea. Of course, some first-party games and also some third-party games to give you guys some 4K footage on how these games look. So let's go ahead and of course, an overview of the interface itself, which is another thing I'm excited about because the interface is brand new. So we're going to dive into all of that. So let me go ahead and set this up, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so here we are with the PlayStation 5. So we're here at the main menu here. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an overview of what you guys can expect from the interface itself. So you can see here on the cross-media bar right at the top, you can see you land on the Explore page. And the Explore page seems to be a correlation of news that is coming from games that you already follow. You know, official news, like, for example, official news is coming in from Fortnite, from Godfall, you know, official news from PlayStation, you know, things that are related to the games that you're playing that you may want to see news for. So I think this is pretty cool, so you can always keep in the know of if developers actually use this to put their stuff in here, so we can take a look. And then, of course, if you scroll down, you can see live broadcasts from people that are playing specific games right here, from people, and then popular videos that you follow. So that looks like that's what the Explore page is looking like so far. Scrolling to the left, of course, we have the PSN network. So you can see that there's no load. There's no like going into the PlayStation Store anymore. You literally are sitting at the main menu. You go to the left, and you're on the PlayStation Store. That's it. And you're scrolling through games. You're looking through the latest. You can see collections there at the top, subscriptions, the PlayStation Plus collection. You can browse the whole entire thing. So you can see this is so much snappier than it used to be by browsing the store. It makes it much more fun to actually look through. So like if you click on a game, it brings you here. You can wish list it if you want to, follow it. And this is how you follow games to get news on the main page there that I just showed you for the, what's it called? I already forgot. The Explore page. So this is how you, that's how you follow people or follow different games. You come in here and you basically hit the follow button right here. And that's also how you unfollow. So if you want to unfollow a game and you don't want to see their news anymore, you just come in here and unfollow them as well. So this is what the store page looks like. You can see prices, you can wish list it, you can see some media that you can scroll through. And it's really nice because the media, without even clicking on it, already takes over the background. So it really makes it easy to scroll through. Of course, you can also see the official news here that we were talking about before. And then you can see the additions, you can see all the add-ons, you get some more info at the bottom. So the store seems to be organized really well. And then, of course, you got your games over here. And over here, if you scroll through, You'll hear like the background noise of the game. So what's cool is that when you're scrolling through games, if they support it, which is usually just PlayStation 5 games right now, it will actually take over the screen with one of the an image from the game and also the background music. Sometimes it will just be the background with no music. It will just be the basic music for the PlayStation 5 if they don't have any. So you won't always hear it. Like I said, it's PlayStation 5 and developer dependent, of course. But as you're scrolling through here, you can also see that if you scroll through here, for example, on Astro's Playroom, you can see the progress. You can see how many achievements you've earned there. You can jump into all these activities. You can see all the achievements right here. Also see the official news from here and the trending broadcast for that particular game. So, and that works the same for any of the other games as well. So you can see the activity that they've made, trending broadcast, and then this one actually has add-ons. So I guess add-ons also show up here as well. So if you go to Spider-Man and scroll down, you got the activities that are here, official news, and trending broadcast. So, and then if you scroll all the way to over here, then of course you see the game library. So you can see here that this is my library. You can organize it by your whole entire collection or just what's installed. You can look at the PlayStation Plus games, and then you can look at PlayStation Now if you're subscribed to that. So it makes it really easy to play whatever games you want. And something to keep note, if you're looking for, because it's interesting that it's here, the media gallery, which is where all your screenshots are and stuff, it's actually sitting in your game library. You would think it's probably under media up here, but it's not. The media tab is actually a correlation of all your applications that you have installed, like I do. Like I have Peacock, Hulu, Disney Plus, Prime Video, YouTube, and Netflix. And if you scroll through, it will actually tell you what's featured on each one, so which is a pretty nice interface that we have going on here. You can see all the apps that are available that you can download. So those are all there. Or if you're just on the TV and video screen, it kind of just correlates all the different shows. So it will tell you, you know, what's being featured right now that people are watching, different services on what people are watching on Hulu and what's trending and stuff before you even open the application. So that's pretty cool, and I do like how this is organized here. Now, scrolling along the top, we have your search that you can search across everything. You have your settings here, so you can scroll through the settings. Some interesting things to point out here. You can go into capture and settings. You can change these shortcuts for the create button on how you want to do it, how long the recording should be. It's already set this way by default, but you can go in here and change that. You can change the broadcast quality, the audio, the camera, the overlays, all that stuff. You can change if you want the trophies to save screenshots and videos every single time that you get a trophy, which I do. You can see all the notifications and customize all that. You can download your cloud saves and stuff from right here. You can even get a spoiler warning from game developers if you want to be warned with a spoiler label or something like that to hide content, which should come in use so you don't get spoiled on games. You can even come in here and do game presets. So you can always change the difficulty to always default to this if a game has it, or you can just leave it on game default, or you can come in here and change this and change either to performance mode or resolution mode if the game has it as well. So really it makes it easy to always have the default settings when you're scrolling through here. Of course, this is just your video resolution. It tells you all if you have HDR and all that stuff turned on. Nothing really special there. You can come in here and adjust the sound on the microphone and audio output, how it's currently set, and you can enable 3D audio right here if you have the Pulse headphones or other pair of headphones plugged into your controller. You can come in here and raise the controller speaker volume, which I did because I was only set to halfway. You can see your storage. You can see I only have 189 gigs left, so not much. And then when you actually can buy an extended storage, that will actually be there. But right now, since there is none, that's why that's not there. So everything else is pretty standard. User and accounts, we don't need to go in there. Obviously, you know what that is, and that's what your tab over here is, your user account up there. Now, that's the main thing that you're looking at, but one of the other main things, of course, is if you click on the PlayStation button, you get this cross-media bar at the bottom. On the home, you'll see like things that are kind of like what they think you want to see next. So you'll see like recent video clips that you've taken, or recent screenshots, or recent news from a game you've been playing, stuff like that. Switcher is just an easy way to rotate between recent games that you've been playing. Notifications will of course give you notifications on anything that's been installed or anything you've earned as far as a trophy and stuff like that. Game base is where you can come in here and create a party with people. Game base, for the sake of not showing my friends who don't want to be shown, is where you can go in there and create parties and stuff like that. And you can now, you know, share screenshots and videos directly with your party, and it's kind of like almost like a Discord server in a way of how it actually functions now, because you can have a lot of people in one party, and it's always an active party. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're always talking. It's just like an active thing, like an active room of you and your friends. So, music, if you want to go in there, sound to adjust your sound and media volumes and stuff, and your output, and this is just, you can link your Spotify account to listen to music while you're playing games. Microphone, if you want to mute it, where your wireless microphone is being used or not. You can look at your accessories and your battery life and stuff, and again, your profile here, and you can customize this whole tab just by pressing this, and then you can kind of put what you want on here or what you don't want on here. So really easy to get to these things if you want to. So I just added the broadcast one, so now I see this broadcast icon, but it tells you to play game first. So that is kind of an overview of the PlayStation interface. What I want to show you next is just how fast the interface loads everything. So here is an example. Let's go ahead and dive into our first game here. Let's say we were opening up Spider-Man Miles Morales. Actually, let's go to an easier one. Let's go to Astro's Playroom, only because it's easier to come in and out. So I'm opening up Astro's Playroom for the first time. Not the first time I've been playing, but the first time I actually turned the console off completely from cold boot. And this is loading. And this isn't even loading, because this is obviously just like a logo. They want you to see that logo. It's not even that it's loading anything. So I feel like games can load even faster once we get past all this stuff of like, hey, we need to see that loud flashing logo screen of the game. So press the button. I hit continue. So this is basically where it starts loading. And there is basically no load time. I'm in here already. And this is like the main hub world if you guys haven't played Astro yet. And by the way, the controller, the haptics in this game are fantastic. If I'm walking around here, I can kind of feel little blips in my hands right now of me walking around. Like it feels like I'm walking on some sort of metal. I can feel it on my left and right every time I walk on my legs. If I go up here, this feels more like glass. You can feel the click-clack on the controller. It's really interesting. And then if you go on this metal piece, this metal definitely has a harder clacking, as if it was metal, compared to this softer material over here. It just feels so cool how they're doing that stuff in the game. But let's go ahead and say we're jumping into one of the worlds. Let's go into Cooling Springs for a second, because that's where I am right now, as I just started the game. You can see how you're loading into it, right? There you go. That's your loading screen. We basically didn't load at all throughout this whole entire game. And then you come in here, just zipping through this. You can see how great the graphics look in this game. But the standout of this game is just the PlayStation nuances that are in the game, all the collectibles and stuff, and just seeing all the PlayStation stuff. And look, this sand here, I wish I could convey this easier, but this sand now feels like I'm hitting sand. Like I could feel it in my controller. I could feel it in my controller right now as he's walking around. It feels very different than what I felt before. And this wind over here on the controller, I can feel the resistance on my controller pick up. And if I turn this way, now my controller only feels the wind on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I don't feel it. It's really, really cool how well this is all done, and how everything feels when you're walking around and you know guys are coming out. And this game is just a fantastic experience if you guys have not played this yet. I mean, it's included for free on your PlayStation 5, so it definitely should be the first thing that you play. But Astrobot is definitely his mascot. And just watch this. When you leave your Astrobot alone for a while and you turn the camera on, he starts waving at you, they all start waving at you, this guy's got a camera. Now he's got the VR headset on him. Look at him. He's sitting there playing VR right now. He knows. And if you wait a little bit longer, guess what else he's going to do? He's going to bring out one of our favorite portable systems. There you go. We got the PSP sitting there as he's playing the PSP. This game is just filled with like crazy things like that for all us PlayStation fans, and there's some just awesome stuff. And the triggers in this game feel fantastic when you're actually hitting things. You can feel like the haptic triggers. Like right here, for example, I'm holding this. Oops, I forgot to hold it. I'm holding this with play right now, right? I can feel the resistance from this enemy right now of him trying to pull away in my controller to the backside of my controller. And if I pull it, I can feel it. It's just, like I said, this game's fantastic as far as the haptic feedback and just the game in general. This game is just really good. But if we back out of this and we hit the PlayStation button, you can see this is the activity feed I was talking about. So here, it will say things that you're actually doing. So it will tell you here how on the bot beach how many things you still have to do. And if you're looking for an artifact in this level, that little icon there is actually a hint. And if you pull this up, it will actually show you a hint on where the hidden artifact is in this level. And you can blow this up. You can, I think you can put it to the side, right? Yeah, you can put it to the side as you're playing. You can put it right there and watch that video and basically just go find what it's talking about. And to help you find it, like to help you find different things that you're looking for. So, like I said, it's just fantastic stuff of how they do it with this game level. So we can go ahead and take this out. And then, of course, like I said, it has all these different achievements that you're trying to go after. So it will show you a bunch of different achievements in different areas that what you're actually trying to go after. So, but let's go ahead and exit this game now. We'll go back to the home screen. Something to note on the PlayStation interface right now, if I were to be playing Playroom right now, Astro's Playroom, and I didn't save and I was playing a story game, and I just did this and now went into Spider-Man Miles Morales, it is not warning you like the PlayStation 4 did that it's closing that out. It just closed it. And it's not like this is the Xbox Series X where it has the where you can switch like up to the last 6 games and it's saving the status in. Your Astrobot is completely closed now. So if you didn't save and you were playing, it's gone. So something to keep note if it wasn't automatically saved that's how the interface is currently working. So you can see how fast we loaded into Miles Morales here. Just to show you a little bit of what the graphics are like in the city. We're not going to do any missions or anything right now, since I'm just giving you a glimpse on how all these games work. But did you see how fast that was? I literally turned my head to grab a drink, and it was already done loading before I even turned back around. And the haptic feedback in here is also really cool. As I'm swinging around here, I can feel the haptic feedback on the triggers, giving me some resistance as I'm swinging around. And when there is wind, like when you're scrolling down and stuff, you can feel the wind hitting your controller with this ever so slight touch on the controller as you're swinging and feeling that breeze in the air. Really, really cool. And you can see how fantastic this game looks in the city right now. Like if we come down here and scrolling through the city and stuff and in this environment, it just looks really, really good. On the PlayStation 5, it's like as far as the graphics go, you can see the ray tracing and stuff. Let's see if I can show you. You see, there's me in the window. That's ray tracing for you right there. You'd see the you disappearing and going into the other window. Same thing on these cars. Usually you can kind of get a glimpse of yourself on cars. It kind of depends. I mean, that car has all snow on top of it, so it may be hard to catch one. But yeah, you get the idea, and the ray tracing here is really good. Look at that light and stuff, like the way that like everything is, the puddles in here. You can actually find a rain puddle. And you can see all the like the rain there, how it looks and how everything's hitting the actual floor and stuff. Like I said, the game just looks fantastic, and the graphics so far are really impressive on the PlayStation 4. This looks really, really good. So let's scroll over to another game. And now let's scroll over to NBA 2K21. I'll just show you a little bit of the Play Now feature. So coming into here, dismiss that. Go into Play Now. You can see it, like I said, the loading in this game is also ridiculous. I'm hitting quick play, correct? I'm hitting quick play right now. I'm picking the game. I'm doing Los Angeles Lakers versus Houston Rockets, right? I hit start game. It does the Play Now screen. That's it. You're in the game. No loading at all, basically, in these games. And I think this has been the most impressive game as far as quality of graphics go to me. I mean, they've all been impressive in their own ways, like Spider-Man with the ray tracing and stuff. But as far as like showing off graphics. Sports games have always been able to do that well. And this looks fantastic on
A
PlayStation.
spirited rendition of the Star-Spangled
Even
Banner.
coming from somebody who like
Fans
played the
getting into
NBA
it.
series
You
on a
can feel
PC,
the
this looks better than
anticipation
any other
building.
version of a
We'll be
PC
right
has
back.
before it. Because the next gen version is exclusive to consoles right now and is not on PC. So you can see how fantastic
Thanks
it is.
for
Let's go
joining
ahead and
us,
zoom into
Allie.
the game.
When you ask LeBron James about Anthony,
Well,
you
that's
guys
probably
can
the
get an
best
idea.
way to put it. Thanks, Allie. Now let's take a
And how
look
the
at the
gameplay
Rockets'
actually
opening
is like.
lineup. Pairing up in the backcourt, Westbrook and Harden. Covington serves as the 4, with Tucker as the center in name only. And it's House in at the small
So you can
forward
see it has like
position.
this new camera
And for the
angle and stuff, which
Lakers,
I actually am getting used to.
LeBron and
Actually, like it
Green,
lets
they're
you see the
manning the
players,
backcourt.
up closer.
Anthony Davis is out there with Dwight Howard.
So-
And it's Caldwell Pope in at the 3. Now here's Green. And there's James from the arc. They grab their own miss. Howard's shot's good.
Such a great rebounder, athleticism and length. Dwight
So yeah, you
Howard
can
knows
see
how
how
to
great
use
this
those
game
gifts that he
really does
possesses.
look.
Inside.
Oops.
The 6-footer.
Still got it.
Tucker, no good.
Nice work defensively, meeting him up top and forcing the miss. Hey, it's been a little bit like Back to the Future with Dwight Howard. What a season this guy had last year. He turns to LA, finds himself in an ideal situation, and while he's not putting up huge numbers, his impact is very large.
It's hard
James
to
passes
shoot
to
in this
Howard.
game right now.
Second chance shot. No good.
Yeah, I'm doing terrible.
Now the Rockets
But
take
that's
it
fine.
the
You
other
don't
way.
just need to do well to see the graphics. They ain't here to show
For
gameplay
3,
like that.
Westbrook. Davis with a rebound. And with Howard back in LA with the Lakers, it was a bit of a redemption how he left.
Gave you guys a little bit of an overview of what the games are like on the PlayStation 5 and some of the graphics and what you guys can expect out of this 4K gameplay. So now let's go ahead and get to the table. Let me tell you guys exactly what I think overall so far about the PlayStation 5 and my impressions on the controller, the games, you know, the speeds, all of that, the launch lineup and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and get to the table and let's talk about it. Alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed that gameplay of some 4K footage from the PlayStation 5 and the interface overview and all that stuff on what you guys can expect out of this system. Now, let's start with the interface itself. The interface, I actually like the overall interface of the PlayStation 5. I like that it's different from the PlayStation 4 because it gives us that new next-gen feel of everything starting fresh. And I do like some of the ideas that they brought over here. The activities section and the activity cards is a fantastic idea, and if games use it well, it is a cool experience. In Astro, when you're going in there and you're looking at the activities, it's based on the zone that you're in, and it will give you, different activities to play in that zone. And as soon as you click on that activity, it zooms you right to that activity, and there's no loading or anything. And if you're going for certain achievements and stuff, if you're an achievement tracker, you click on that achievement and it brings you right to where you need to go. For example, like in Spider-Man Miles Morales, with those things that you're going around the city, if you're going for a certain achievement and you click on the activity and that achievement is what you're going for, it zooms you right to that thing in literally a couple seconds because of how fast games are loading on this thing. So the activities cards is a really cool idea. I hope that games keep implementing it well because it's a fantastic inclusion when it's actually done really well. I don't know what the bar is called that you can bring up every time you're into games, but I like the way that that's designed and that you can customize all the icons on what you're using more. The game base is in there, the notifications are in there, all that stuff, all really laid out well. The game library is also, not the game library, but the games on the top of the PlayStation 5 media bar. I really like how that is because when you hover over the PlayStation 5 and you click on a game, it kind of gives you the theme song of the game and it kind of gives you the background of the game, so it gives you like a different experience every time you're scrolling through the game, so your menu's always changing. Of course, the games have to support this and they have to do the work for it. So PlayStation 4 games aren't really doing that yet, but the PlayStation 5 games are doing that when you're scrolling through them. So I do like that. And one of the things that is missing, though, that I'm really, really disappointed in is when it comes to the activity screen. So if you guys remember on the PlayStation 4, when you were looking at the activities area and you saw what your friends were doing, like they were, unlocking achievements, what games they were playing, what games they bought, all that kind of stuff that I used to like looking at to see what my friends were up to. And most importantly is when you share videos and screenshots from games, your friends on PlayStation can see it and comment it and stuff like that. Well, now, when you go to share a screenshot with someone, or you take a screenshot or you take a video, the only options you have is either to share it on Twitter or share it to your YouTube account. So if you don't have a Twitter account or you don't have a YouTube account that you're sharing to people, it's basically not going to be a great feature because now we can't share it to just our PlayStation friends. You could share it to your PlayStation friends if you're all in a group and you have a group of friends like in that game-based section where you can create like a group and then you can share screenshots and stuff with each other, which is fine. But I'd like the overview of the activity screen before, where you don't have to be in a group of friends or chatting with people to actually share screenshots with them. But I like the activity screen before, where I can see what all my friends were up to. I like the fact that I can just share screenshots with just my friends that are on PlayStation Network and not rely on YouTube and Twitter all the time. So I think that's a big miss, and I think they really need to bring that back, because I really, really missed that feature from the PlayStation 4, and it's unfortunate that it's not here, and it's my biggest disappointment when it comes to the actual interface on the PlayStation 4. Moving over from that, and then moving over to the actual games themselves, the launch games on this are fantastic. There actually is launch games on the PlayStation 5 as opposed to the Series X that are exclusive on here, which of course is things like Sackboy, Astro, and Spider-Man's Miles Morales. All fantastic games, all taking advantage of the PlayStation 5 with the activities, with the 3D audio and all that stuff integrated into it. And they're fantastic launch day experiences, and they're really, really solid games I'm having a lot of fun with. And the speed, of course, in the PlayStation 5 of loading games and stuff is fantastic, just like it is in the Series X. It's at least on par with that, and sometimes even a couple of seconds faster than the than the Xbox Series X is. So that's really cool, and I'm really, really excited to how fast games are launching and how fast it is to get into different things now on these consoles. Another thing, two things that are really, really setting this console apart for me compared to the Series X and even my PC is the 3D audio when it's done well in games, and also the controller itself. So let's start with 3D audio. 3D audio on the PlayStation 5 has to be supported in games. So luckily for us, Sackboy supported, Spider-Man Miles Morales is supported, and Astro supported. And when it's supported well, it's a fantastic experience of you hearing all the 3D audio going all over the place. Now, not all games are going to support it because they have to do the work to support it. The Pulse headphones that I have still sound fantastic on PlayStation 4 games that aren't specifically taking advantage of 3D audio, but when it takes it to that next level, you can definitely hear it, and you can definitely feel the difference. And I really, really like the 3D audio in games that are supporting it. You could really hear things that you couldn't hear before. Even my, surround sound system over there, having these headphones on and the 3D audio still sounds fantastic in these headphones, and I'm really, really having a good time with it. And I think it separates itself from some of the work on other consoles. One of the other, but the biggest standout feature on the PlayStation 5 by far compared to the Series X is the DualSense controller. Guys, I didn't know what to expect when everyone was talking about how great the haptic feedback was, and everyone was saying how great it was. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's fantastic. In games that support this well, like Astro and Spider-Man, for example, in Astro, when you're walking over different areas, you can feel the different texture. You can feel when you're on a glass that it's kind of like click-clacking on your controller when you're feeling the rumble and the feedback. If you're running through sand, you can feel that it's more mushy. If you're running towards the wind and the wind's hitting you, you can feel the wind hitting the left and right side of your controller depending on what angle you're facing at. When you're shooting a crossbow in that game and you're pulling on the trigger, you can feel the tension as you pull the trigger come back. It's a fantastic implementation on Astro. Of course it would be, because it's meant to show off the DualSense controller. But even then, moving on to other games like Spider-Man Miles Morales, when you're zipping through and webbing through the city, you can feel the haptic feedback in there as well. When you're going through the story, when the main enemy was coming at me in the beginning of the story, when Rhino was coming at me and he was stomping towards me, I can feel him stomping left and right. I could feel his foot left and right coming towards me on the controller because of the haptic feedback. And it was a fantastic way to feel it. And then the explosions in the game, it's all next level haptic feedback. This is what the Nintendo Switch was trying to do when they said next level feedback or next gen, haptic feedback. This is what they were trying to do, and this is a fantastic way to do it. And even if games don't specifically support it and they just have rumble, the rumble here still feels more fine-tuned and better than it ever did on the PlayStation 4, and it's definitely more intense than the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox has ever been before. And even third-party games, NBA 2K21, for example. Granted, it's not implemented the best compared to the other two games, but even they're doing some interesting stuff. So when your player is running out of stamina and it's going to the red when you're holding that trigger down, if he goes to red and you hold the trigger down, you're going to feel that feedback, how it's intensed up, because now your player's fatigued to let you know that, hey, this guy's fatigued. Or they also use it in a way where if you run into somebody when you're playing defense or something, you run into someone hard, you can feel that feedback on the controller and on the haptic feedback. Now, that could use a little bit of tweaking, because I think that sometimes I feel like I run into someone hard and it didn't actually register a haptic feedback, even though other times it does. So it might be using some fine tuning on what registers as a hard hit. But regardless, it's fantastic with some cool ideas that the developers are already coming onto. Call of Duty Cold War I would have never thought I would have done this, but guys, this is making me rethink on where to purchase games now. Because if I have, obviously I have a Series X, I have a PlayStation 5, and I have a 3080 card sitting on my PC. So that came to the conclusion that like, I usually buy games that are third party on Xbox or PC, and PlayStation 5 or PlayStation has usually been reserved for exclusives. But now, with this DualSense controller and how fantastic the experience has been, I'm going to come to a halt and be like, hey, if the experience is going to be the same on the Series X and the PlayStation 5, graphics-wise and everything else, am I going to buy it on the Series X if I'm not relying on friends or if the game has crossplay, like Call of Duty? No, I'm going to buy it on PlayStation 5 then, because I'm going to get that next level of immersion with the haptic feedback controller. And I think that's going to make me change how I buy games and where I buy them, and that's going to be really interesting to see. I had the opportunity to buy Call of Duty on the PC, even with my 3080 card, but I wanted to try it on the PlayStation 5 with the haptic feedback, and I was not let down. They have all different haptic feedback for every single gun in the game, and they all feel different on the haptics, triggers, and playing the story mode with the Pulse headphones in Call of Duty and the haptic feedback on the triggers and on the controller itself is an awesome next-gen experience that I can't get on my PC right now, even with the 3080 card. That is cool enough that I will sometimes consider buying it on the PlayStation 5 over PC, depending on the game. So it's going to make an interesting dynamic and how I buy games in the future, and I didn't expect coming into this gen. So PlayStation 5 is doing some outstanding stuff, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this overview and got my early impressions out of the way. We'll be doing another video later and next week, what I'll be doing like a straight comparison between the Series X and the PlayStation 5 and what I would recommend between each console for certain gamers. So we'll be looking at that next week. But guys, I'm really, really impressed with the PlayStation 5 so far. And if you guys have any questions about what you guys saw in today's video, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.
The gaming techie is the gaming techie, gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming techie is the gaming techie.